Also, a developing story. Sharita Greer is pleading guilty after airport officials found bullets in her luggage as she was leaving the Turks and Caicos.
She has been on the island since mid-May. Fox 35's Caroline Coles is joining us live at Orlando International Airport. And Caroline, you spoke with her today, and she said that bag actually made it through the airport there in Orlando as she was leaving to go on vacation.
Yep, she says it was right there in her bag. We're actually right here at the airport. This is one of the last places that she was at before heading to Turks and Caicos. But as you mentioned, she says she went through TSA with the ammunition in her bag, and she says officials didn't say anything about it. It's been 52 days and counting of being stuck in Turks and Caicos for Sharita Greer.
It's like I'm playing Russian roulette with my life, without having no medication for my blood clots.
And she's ready to come home to Orlando now more than ever. Aside from just wanting to be home, Sharita says she suffers from health issues that requires her doctor's attention.
My biggest concern is I'm out of medication. I need to get back to see my hematologist so they can do a study on my blood to see what new medicine they're going to put me on.
The 45-year-old mother was visiting Turks and Caicos for Mother's Day, and when she was leaving the island, airport officials there say they found 2 bullets in her luggage. Sharita says she didn't even know they were in there. In fact, when departing from Orlando International Airport, she says her ammunition went through security without problem.
But they scanned my bag and they flagged it, they stopped it, and they took out the body work, the body spray and the lotion, and, gave me back my bag.
And they didn't say anything about the ammunition that you had in there?
No.
TSA released a statement to Fox 35 saying TSA takes its security mission very seriously. Ammunition is prohibited in carry-on bags, and passengers are responsible for the contents of their luggage. TSA acknowledged that rounds of ammunition were likely missed at Orlando International Airport during screening of a passenger's belongings in May. However, there was not enough information available to us about the screening date, time, and location to make a determination. Regardless of what happened back in May, Sharita says she understands she made a big mistake, but is still hoping she's able to return home like the others who've been detained in Turks and Caicos for carrying ammunition in their bag.
I understand, I broke a law, and everyone else, paid a fine or whatever the case may be, so why wouldn't I be able to pay a fine and go home?
She's ready to go home, just like she said. Keep in mind that she has already pleaded guilty. Her sentencing hearing, that is coming up. That's scheduled for July 12th. Meanwhile, the country's parliament just agreed last month to repeal the mandatory minimum punishment of 12 years in prison. The other Americans who were arrested for the same thing, having ammunition in their luggage, they were released. All they have to do was just pay a fine. They were sentenced already. So Sharita is really hoping that the same exact thing happens to her and she's able to go home and see her children. Reporting live here at the airport, I'm Caroline Coles, Fox 35 News.
Caroline, thank you.
A developing story tonight. Our first responders are the targets of car break-ins for one specific reason.
When the firefighters go out on service calls, the burglars move in. This is a look at the 5 stations that have been hit so far. 3 of them are in Seminole County. The other 2 are in Orange.
And Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is live outside of Fire Station 12 in Seminole County. So, Hannah, that's one of the stations being targeted.
Yeah, John, 8 cars here were broken into, all of which were left with a broken rear window and had various items stolen. But as you guys said, this is just one of 5 area fire stations that were targeted. And now law enforcement is left trying to figure out if these crimes are connected. Broken glass in one parking lot, in another, this truck with a taped rear window. At least 18 cars hit in a 2-day span. This, the aftermath of criminals targeting Central Florida first responders, says Orange County Fire Rescue Division Chief John Westmoreland.
It's unconscionable, it's criminal, and it's preying on folks that are literally taking an oath and willing to give their life to help serve the community. The thought of their vehicles being broken into, it's sickening and it's maddening. 3 fire stations in Orange County targeted between June 30th and July 1st, and 2 in Seminole County, also on July 1st. These crimes have been happening after midnight. There's some indication that we've had some false calls and then the break-ins occurring afterwards. It's a trend nationwide, says Westmoreland. We found a rash of similar reports out of Tennessee
Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Missouri, and Colorado in just the last 6 months. And last year, we reported half a dozen other instances of car burglaries targeting firefighters. That's when Josh Baker had a gun stolen from his truck. Now I'm told stations in Seminole and Orange counties are taking steps to improve or reinforce security measures. Most fire stations do have security systems. No word yet on whether any of these burglaries were caught on camera. I was told that no guns were reported stolen from the Seminole County fire stations. Orange County did not get back to me on that question. Reporting live in Seminole County tonight, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Hannah, thank you. Well, we continue to track the tropics tonight in Fox 35 Storm.
We're following breaking news out of Brevard County this afternoon where a suspect was shot by a deputy.
That deputy says the woman was holding a gun. Let's get out to Fox 35's Esther Bauer. She is live at the scene right now in Melbourne on US 1. Esther, what is the latest out there?
So we're live just off US 1 and Pineda Causeway and still have a very active crime scene at this moment. If I turn around just past this crime scene tape, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 sheriff vehicles on scene. We also have the Brevard County Sheriff's Office mobile crime lab on scene. I want to zoom in right now. I want you to see the most active part of this crime scene at this point. And you can see all of those deputies, investigators huddled together. They are looking for evidence, gathering details from deputies, trying to understand more about what led up to this officer-involved shooting. So here's what we know so far. This all started around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when someone called 911 to report that someone's car was actively being broken into. Deputies arrived on scene quickly, and Sheriff Wayne Ivey says as soon as that happened, a woman pulled out a gun, brandishing it in front of deputies before she and a man ran away into the woods. Deputies quickly followed them, and Ivey says the deputies felt threatened because the woman did not respond to orders to drop the weapon. Sheriff Wayne Ivey says she was shot multiple times by his deputies. The man she was with at the time was immediately taken into custody after the shooting. And the sheriff says none of his deputies were injured in the shooting. Witnesses say they saw Star and deputies with dogs actively searching for the victims before this shooting, and that has really shaken up a woman who lives just down the road.
I'm really upset over this.
Okay.
I mean, I live right down the road. And this is just getting too close to home for comfort. It's terrible.
And we're told the female suspect who was shot by deputies is at the hospital right now. Sheriff Wayne Ivey says she is listed in stable condition at this point. Melbourne police are also on scene. They will be assisting with this investigation. I'm looking at traffic right now here in front of me on US 1. Things are still moving pretty smoothly. It's only this side street right over here that has been blocked off with crime scene tape. Deputies are letting people in and out of the area if they do live here, but we can expect to see a law enforcement presence out here for quite some time. Reporting live in Brevard County, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Esther, thank you.